challenge how high the obstacles we always overcome.
What Nigerians need is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are...
Good morning and welcome to Open Conversation on Atlantic Television Network. Open Conversation is a network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through these conversations, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system and actor to explore hope and engender positive impacts to the society. Today on Open Conversation, we'll look at the stories. First, River State. Councillors assault Asaritoro local government chairman. And then on to electoral reform. Senate divided as majority back real-time results transmission. And opposition parties slam Senate over e-transmission rejection. Ahead of 2027 elections, APC proposes early voting for essential workers. And then on to party politics. Turaki faction dismisses INEC invite to Mohammed-led PDP. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events, coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv. On Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Ifastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. And on X, Atlantic TV Net. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll delve right into the show. Do not go away.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the temple of God.
Access to our money.
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Representing people. Mr. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister elected from the
As always said, there are two sets of people: the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the top thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Protecting people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
to condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister elected from the
As always said, there are two sets of people: the oppressors and the oppressed. And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the top thing. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Protecting people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
to condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister elected from the
As always said, there are two.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Joining me on Open Conversation this morning is Okechukwu Edenko, a regular on Open Conversation and also a political analyst. Good morning, Okechukwu, and welcome.
Good morning, Laurentia, and good morning to all our esteemed viewers all over the world.
And on to the story. There was chaos on Tuesday in Asari Toro local government area of Rivers State following a confrontation between the council chairman, Honorable Oyengofori George, and the leader of the Legislative Assembly, Honorable Ibifri. The cause of the dispute remains unclear, but the situation reportedly escalated after a heated argument with councillors siding with the assembly leader and physically assaulting the chairman. A video circulating online shows the chairman fleeing the scene. The incident comes amid the lingering political crisis in Rivers State, triggered by the rift between Governor Similaye Fubara and former Governor Nyesom Wike. What do you make of this development? This is actually disturbing, if I may put it that way.
I think what happened on Tuesday, if going by reports circulating online, I think it's a shame on the councillors. And it shows that they are councillors who don't even know where their right starts and where it stops. As councillors and leaders of the house, so to say, they have every power, because this whole thing, it's about checks and balances. Fine, according to them, they say the chairman may have done wrong. But they have also done greater wrong by seeking self-help and taking laws into their hands. It shows that the kind of people who we elect as councillors at the grassroots, they need some form of psychopathic and psychiatric evaluation. Why I say so, on no account, no matter the provocation, should, because if you look at the honorables and somebody who is an honorable, he should be honorable in every ramification. He should be able to have self-control, self-comportment, because you are representing a people. So for us to have that kind of people at the grassroots is a danger to democracy. No matter what, you don't resort to self-help, you don't resort to taking the laws into your hands. On which ground are they assaulting the chairman physically? They are legislators at the grassroots. They know what to do.
Now, when you say they know what to do, now that brings another perspective to the conversation. Do they actually know what to do? Were they properly trained? You know, most of political positions in Rivers State and other states, in fact across the country, one would say most times political positions or even political elective positions are compensatory.
so...
Now, if they are compensatory, which means that qualification in the sense of knowing the job of a councillor, actually being conscious of the position you're vying for and knowing the weight and the responsibilities accompanying that position, you know, it is not brought to bear. Rather, the boys are being compensated. And if that is the case, do you think that councillors in Nigeria actually know what to do?
The answer is no. Many of them do not know what to do, because if you check very well, some of them, their educational qualifications are very questionable. Then you check their antecedents. You look at somebody, before you even elect someone into such an exalted office, you need to check the person's track record the last 4 or 5 years. Know his temperament, know his comportment, know the way he carries himself about. And you don't bring people like that into government and governance. Because whether I like it or not, democracy is for sane people, people who are sane. But with this development, councillors resorting to violence, self-help, it shows that they don't even know what they are there to do as councillors. And if you look at it, to this same set of people, if you check what laws have they been able to make for the local government, that's on one side. I'm not saying that what the chairman did.
Have you heard anywhere? Let me use River State, for example. I mean, across local governments, that local government chairmen have presented so and so budget. Let me ask, from your local government, what local government are you from?
Oba Ebema Ndoni.
Oba Ebema Ndoni local government. Do you know what the budget for the local government, your local government, at least, I mean, the local government is closer to you than the state, correct? Can you authoritatively say that this is what the budget of your local government is for 2026, and this is the area that your local government is focusing on in development in that area? What can you say that?
Well, I cannot stay here and say categorically that I know the exact figure, but I strongly believe and I know that my chairman, the council chairman of Oba Ebema Ndoni local
What's his
government,
name?
Barrister Shedrack Chukwuobu, is doing very well for the council.
That's not the question I asked, whether he's doing very well or not.
He's doing very well, and they also have a budget. And he also inherited a lot of abandoned projects.
That's not the area I'm going
Which
to.
he is also...
What I am asking, I'm not questioning his governance.
Yes.
What I am asking is due process. Are you aware that the local government chairman, where you come from, submitted budgets to the councillors for approval?
Yes.
You are aware?
I am aware, because I have a lot of friends who are councillors.
What is the tune of that budget?
I don't have an IID figure. I don't have it offhand.
You don't need to know, but you should be able to tell within this bracket and this bracket.
I cannot sit here and say, but I know, not that I believe, they have a budget which they are working.
I was asking that question because you said that you believe.
I know.
So when you believe, it means that you're applying faith. It's not knowledge.
Okay, now
you're not speaking from a point of knowledge.
Now I'm talking from the knowledge point of view.
Okay.
That we have a budget in the local government, even if I don't know the exact figure, but I knew when it was presented, I knew when it was deliberated upon by the councillors, and it's been having a very smooth sail and wonderful.
Was there public hearing?
Of course, there was public hearing in the local government.
If there was, how come you did not know the
note,
amount?
But when I mean I did take, there was a public hearing, but I didn't take note of it. The leader of my local government legislative assembly is a PhD holder.
Okay.
And we also have about 2 or 3 PhD holders who are councillors. The chairman of the council is also a PhD holder, not an honorary PhD. They will have honorary PhD, and the one that they found worthy,
the academic,
both in character and in learning.
All right. Very well. So in the case of Asari Toru local government, you are condemning the actions of the councillors, and you're saying that while that action is barbaric, you see these actions as stemming from not knowing what to do. Because if they feel so aggrieved by the chairman, let's say the chairman had done something not right, they reserve the constitutional right to summon the chairman, or right to the chairman to appear before the council for probe or questioning?
Of course. That's why they have their powers. If you look at it, at every level, it's supposed to be a check and balance system where the legislative arm is checkmating the executive arm, and also the judicial arm is checkmating both the executive and the legislative arm to check excesses of both chambers. So if you look at this whole thing, it stems from the fact that I'm not sure these people have proper orientation. They don't even know what they are there to. If not, if they know, at that point they will just write to the chairman to appear before the chamber. And if it doesn't come, they serve him a notice of impeachment. At that point, the elders of the local government will have to call everybody. But resorting to physical confrontation, it shows that the level of persons they gave appointed those councillorship position in Asariton.
Did they give or did they vote?
I think they gave them tickets.
All right, okay.
They gave them tickets which they contested election and won. That's why I say the people they gave, because first the party gave them tickets.
Oh, okay.
So it's from the ticket of the party that they contested elections. And they need to check them very well. They need to be checked. When I mean checked, as in they need to do a psychopathic and psychiatric evaluation of these people.
All right, very well. One would say, what will be in order of priority? Is it psychiatric evaluation in this instance, or proper training to know their jobs, like to exactly know the powers, their limits, and the extent of their powers as given to them by the Constitution, and what they are expected to do, and the laws that they are expected to pass, and the extent of oversight function that they can exercise as the legislative arm of the local government.
First, why I made mention of that evaluation, or those two evaluations, you know, in life, you learn, you relearn, and you unlearn. And part of learning is, the basic part of it is teaching. If somebody is psychologically or psychopathically unstable, that person cannot learn, and that person is unteachable. So first, they need to run this test for these people. Instead of wasting
Who will run the test then?
The council.
The council?
Of course.
That is the same local government chairman that they assaulted?
Or they should just ask them to go and get it from a government hospital. Because if you look at it...
When you say go and get it from a government hospital, your guess is as good as mine, yes?
No, when you get it from a government hospital, you could also be subjected
to what?
Verification.
Through what means?
No problem. When we get to that.
Through what means?
When we get to the bridge, you know how to cross the bridge, but this one needs to be properly evaluated.
All right. So now this assault goes just like this, because if this is not properly addressed, it might form a precedent, a very dangerous one, right, across the 23 states of River State. Yes, sorry, the 23 local government, and even beyond, it might extend beyond River State.
Why I say they need to nip it in the bud is that first, if it is not checked, they are setting a very bad precedent. But I always tell people, you can have a good case, that you have a very good case.
But the way you go about
it, you make sure that that good case you have, you have a case where the hunter becomes a hunted.
Well, now moving forward, in you know, what do you advise the local government? Because like it or yes, his local government now has crisis. How do you advise that this crisis be handled? What do you advise the local government chairman to do now?
This is beyond the local
Because apparently he's dealing with a council that is quite hostile.
No, this one now is beyond the local government chairman.
All right.
They have leaders in the local government, and the leaders should be able to handle that matter. When I mean leaders, they handle it independently without bias, and they apportion blame to whoever that is found, and that same person should also be properly cautioned. Even the Bible says, can two walk together except they be agreed? In Amos 3:3. Right. So they should all sit down and have a talk.
All right, very well. Moving on, Senate was sharply divided on Wednesday following reports that it rejected mandatory real-time electronic transmission of election results in the ongoing amendment of the Electoral Act ahead of the 2027 general elections. The development triggered widespread public outrage with opposition figures, political parties, and civil society groups warning that any dilution of electronic results transmission could undermine the credibility of future polls. However, at least 13 opposition senators, led by Senator Enyinnaya Abaribe, moved quickly to counter the reports, insisting that the Senate did not reject electronic transmission of results. According to them, more than two-thirds of senators support real-time transmission from polling units to INEC's IREF portal, stressing that the legislative process is not yet concluded and the provision remains intact, pending adoption of the votes and proceedings. The controversy centers on Clause 60, subsection 3 of the amended bill, which mandates presiding officers to electronically transmit signed polling unit results in real time. The confusion followed Senate President Godswill Akpabio's announcement that the clause was adopted as amended, a statement that led to reports suggesting the mandatory provision was removed. Senators backing the clause say it was approved during committee deliberations and executive sessions and will be monitored through final passage to presidential assent. Meanwhile, opposition parties, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, Labour Party's 2023 presidential candidate Peter Obi, and civil society organizations have condemned any attempt to weaken electronic transmission, describing it as a threat to electoral integrity. They argue that transparent real-time results transmission is critical to restoring public trust after past election disputes, as attention now shifts to the final harmonization of the bill and President Tinubu's eventual decision. We'll go on a short break, and when we come back, we'll look right into the story. Do not go away.
Sense of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites, which I
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the country. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economic, sports, and documentary.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Before we went on the break, the story that was read was about the Senate being divided over electronic transmission of results come 2027 elections in cause of this electoral reform. I will start with you on this one, Okechukwu Edenko. What do you make of this story?
Well, I think I will start on rather a satirical note.
Okay.
I like speaking more in proverbs and parables. There's this parable in Calabari. They say any person who doesn't have a strong voice or strong backup cannot raise chorus in a village square. What I mean is self-explanatory. Who are the people pushing this? Who has numerical advantage in the Senate at this point? So the same people who has numerical advantage will definitely push for what will favor them. That's human nature. Because first, politics is backed by personal interest. I don't want to use that word, selfish interest. First, is backed by personal interest before group and collective interest. A lot of them there, they will definitely seek re-election. And they will definitely follow a line that will favor their re-election bid. So this will now serve as an eye-opener to other parties to see how they can bridge the gap in the Senate or the National Assembly, so to say. So it's quite unfortunate that we find ourselves in this position. It is what it is.
All right, I'll still get back to you, Okechukwu Edenko. But then joining me on this particular topic to do justice to this is Frank Enawaji Ogunono. Frank, you're welcome. What do you make of these developments?
Well, for me, it's a normal thing in politics. Now, you have to make this flexible for you to get what you want. If you're too rigid, sometimes some people may not also believe in you, even when you are doing the right thing. Now, you see, Akpabio explained it the way it should be. Now, the onus is on the people. Because considering what we have seen over time, over the years, everything is intact. Everything will be done without any problem. We have taken over. Everything will be done without any disappointment. But in the end, we always see disappointment. So for me, what Akpabio has explained to Nigerians, by virtue of this discrepancy of the electoral laws in terms of amendment, is the state, is the way Nigeria is. But they have not said that they will not transmit election. I mean, they have not said that. But there is a condition which is giving room to high level of suspicion.
What's the condition?
The issue of maybe network failure. But what is it? Because all of us were in this country 2023 when there's a glitches, and that undermined the transmission of the election result. But later it was done in governorship election. But of a truth, why Nigerians are apprehensive is that what must it be? Why not outright electronic transfer of election result? You are saying because of what is happening, in a way, I agree with him in a way. Because these same people, all of us were clamoring, oh, we must do that, we must not agree. Why are we doing this now? We are about to alter the election timetable in this country as it is. And if they are not taking, there will be another amendment of the election timetable too. So say, look, the issue of time to leave office should be elongated. It can come up.
How do you mean altering election timetable because of the electoral reforms? Make it make sense to me.
Yes, the electoral laws can also elongate the time.
In the sense that you're talking about the time, the time to pass. No, are you saying that the time to make these laws and pass it and having the government and get the president to assent to it will take so long that it will affect the election timetable?
That is it.
Now, let me ask you a question, building on what you have said.
Yeah.
If we are to go by what you have said with regards to the bureaucracies, the bottlenecks, and the protocols that that will that you're saying that it will take a lot of time for the electoral laws to be passed and then, assented to by the president. Last time I checked, in this country, in 2023, National Assembly bill was passed within how many hours, please?
Thank you.
No, I think it makes sense to me. Haven't we had laws? I mean, it is on record. The fastest law ever passed, at least in my adult age, within less than 48 hours, our national anthem was changed from Arise, O Compatriots, to Nigeria We Hail Thee.
That is it.
Now,
Yes.
that particular bill, the national anthem bill that was passed to law, did it have any impact on Nigeria welfare, on our unity, on our economy? So how come the same Senate that is able to pass a bill into law within 24 hours?
12 hours. Not 12 hours.
Let's just give them the grace of 24 hours. Now, that can pass a law.
Yeah.
And the president assents to it.
Yeah.
Everything within 24-hour window.
Yeah.
Cannot also expedite actions on electoral reform bill. And you're telling me here that the protocols and everything will take time and then it will affect the elections timetable. I need it to make sense.
I want you to understand. You don't ask my question. Some of you're giving answers to the question you just asked. Like the issue of that national anthem, of what importance to the view of Nigerians?
Okay, back to that national anthem. Do I even know it?
That is it. That is of what importance? So whatever does not concern Nigerians, there will be a kind of swift amendment to it and swift assent to it. Like, let me also tell you this. The one that concerns you and me, it will take time. Like what you just said now. If our elections will be done with the human face, it will change some of the things that our leaders are hiding under to undermine development, to undermine transparency. But they know the masses, in a way, will have a kind of a sense of belonging as it is today. Electoral laws support the ruling class, not even because the masses are championing the cause of let there be electronic transfer of election instantly at the polling unit, which the leaders will know that it will, in a way, if the masses or the citizens or the electorate go against them, it will in a way truncate their rigging machine, which in a way will make it difficult. So in a way, for the masses, they want to delay. Yes, because that is what the masses are clamoring for. Do this for us. Allow Nigerians. They are not telling, there will be ballot papers. That is it. There will be elections. But can you make the issue of electoral transfer possible, mandatory during the election? That's what they are adding under the clause of in case, like I told you, I probably explained. What if in case there is no internet?
So anyway, but then when some of these senators, were addressing the press in a bid to defend the Senate, following the outrage by the masses, they said that it's a matter of semantics. They said it is not electronic transmission; it is transfer.
Okay, now, what is transfer?
You saw that as well, right? Yes, it's not electronic transmission. It is transfer. It is not transmission. It is transfer.
Now,
so
let me
yes.
also say something. In 2015, when card reader, the famous card reader was introduced, you remember that the sitting president and his wife were not captured by
card
reader.
They use internet form.
That's 2015. A sitting president, 001, Nigeria, was not captured by card reader, and that election went on. And the results. So if 001 of Nigeria, not 001 of River State, was not captured by card reader. So there should be room for all these glitches.
Yeah. I think that tomorrow I had the opportunity to speak to one of the foremost, the best brains, a Nigerian that is doing so well in the angle of technology in Canada. And he has been very instrumental in some of the companies that are well known in building their tech system. And he had a lot to say about 2023 elections and the glitches, you know, so to speak. He had a lot to say. So probably tomorrow I am going to invite him to join us via Zoom and shed more light. I think to a large extent, Nigerians should know what's going on, right? Nigerians should know what's going on. And journalists should be bold enough to expose the truth when it's being said. And I think tomorrow I am going to let him come on air and join us via Zoom to say some things that he observed about the so-called glitches and what he said at the end of the day, so that Nigerians will know this and arm themselves with proper information ahead of 2027 elections. And then, like I said earlier, Edenko, they said it is not electronic, they are not rejecting electronic transmission, that it is transfer.
So what is it?
Now, what is the difference between transmit
with medium
and transfer?
With medium.
Is it not, are both not movements from point A to point B?
My brother, let me say
Yes.
something.
Nigerian.
Let me say something.
Go ahead.
I say it here without fear of favor, without contradiction. That same technology that has made our ATM card work, where you use your card to withdraw money, and you are sent an alert, a debit alert immediately to your phone, and the bank also updates you and your balance. Why not deploy that same technology direct from our beavers as you vote? It goes direct to a central system. Okay, look at the stock exchange, where they do their daily stock
How come they are not having network glitches?
And it's working very well. At the end of the day's trading, we know the number of stocks that
despite whether network is down or not.
So they should look for the same people who
They should not be selective about it.
No, they should look for the same people who is running that same technology for the stock exchange and the banks. They should, INEC should also engage them.
Let me say this without missing it, because I follow election all over the world. No election on earth is perfect. When it involves politics, like I said to people who care to listen to me, politics is played the same way everywhere in the world. I repeat, politics is played the same way everywhere in the world. I mean politics,
including America.
That's it. What anywhere? Let me remind you, maybe you have forgotten. In Nigeria, America is not perfect politically.
I think the last time they said Russia infiltrated.
No. Oh, thank God, we can point to one. But let me also tell you what also happened when Bush was in power. Have you heard of Florida election?
Yes, of course.
I think that was in Nigeria.
Yes.
I think it was in Nigeria.
Florida
election anywhere in the world is about manipulation. Sorry, forget about what our own is. That when you after manipulation, we are allowed to go into governance. That's what is wrong with that.
Now,
That's the only difference between politics and governance, where we are getting it wrong. If not, politics everywhere in the world, there's also an element of violence. Let us take note, because even as about 3-4 years ago, the former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, was assassinated at the campaign ground. I'll be aware.
Yes.
So please, for me, what I'm trying to say is that politicians, they know what they're trying to do, but the onus also is on the masses, because there's not also anywhere in the world where there's no ban for election.
Right.
Even when there's what we call electronic voting, there's also ballot paper for those who can go to the polling unit and cast their vote. So it's allowed. But our own, we don't want to change. We are trying to use what we call, like he says, semantics. I will not begin to say transfer. Electronic
transmission. Now, still talking about transfer and the transmission lost in semantics defense by some members of the Senate. Now, one would say they promised Abdul Ningi, Senator Baribe, and others that called this press conference to defend the actions of the Senate. Also said that they were going to monitor this particular bill. They said I think it's remaining one last leg, right? That they are going to monitor it up to, presidential assent. When I saw that, it triggered something, and that was the case of our tax reform bill. Our tax reform bill, where what was passed was not what was gazetted. And gazetted, right? So now there are a lot of concerns. I think for one, will I say does the Senate and the presidency, if I let me say National Assembly and the executive, what schemes are going on within these two arms of government? Particularly why I'm saying is this: when they said they are going to monitor it up to presidential, what is it going to change, considering that with regards to our tax law, what was passed was not what was gazetted? It also took another senator who probably was a stickler for details to know that there is a difference between what was passed and what was gazetted, and also brought it up on the floor of the House. So what is the guarantee that transmission and transfer will not overlap each other, and somehow lacunas will be created?
Let me be very blunt at this point. We have an uncommon senator as a Senate president. That's one. Secondly, the same Senate president that is masterminding this, I pray that between now and when it will be assented, they will send prayer requests to certain email boxes.
So he will make the mistake and announce it on the floor of the House. But will it change anything?
But prayer requests, because I know and now a lot of prayer requests will be sent to various email boxes. And if you look at it technically, it's not good for our democracy. There are a lot of compromises, which is not good for legislators. And this whole thing boils down to the fact that we no longer have robust legislation in the National and State Assembly, where we find a situation now where one party is fully in charge. And once that one party is in control, what do you expect? Once the leaders of the party call them to a caucus meeting, they will definitely toe the line of the party, and he who pays the piper dictates the tune. Unlike in the past, when we had a balanced legislature where maybe the ruling party will need the opinion of opposition's members of the House to enable their laws go to them. You find out that a lot of things were really streamlined and defined. But today, we find a carry-go National and State Assembly where the party at the top controls the legislature. And once it's like that, things like this are expected to come up. All right, moving on. All Progressive Congress has called for the introduction of early voting in Nigeria as a way to address declining voter turnout and the disenfranchisement of essential election day workers. Speaking at an INEC consultative meeting in Abuja, APC National Chairman Professor Nentawe Yewada said thousands of Nigerians, including INEC ad hoc staff, security personnel, journalists, and medical workers, are unable to vote due to official duties, unfairly contributing to voter apathy statistics. While acknowledging the proposal, INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amupitan cautioned that early voting poses trust, cultural and cost challenges, warning that ballot storage could undermine transparency. He stressed that any reform must balance credibility, public confidence, and financial implications. What do you make of these developments?
The proposal of the APC National Chairman
is not what?
I said it's in order.
Okay.
Let's be frank. In some countries, they do early election. in some countries, even US, they do early elections. So why is it contradicting that it was what the money that they spend that even on dogs? Like who knows what to be the budget for feeding dogs for this election? Last time I think about some billions of naira. What I want to advise is this, because even me, when I go to monitor election, I don't vote. I go to give report about election. Except except you go to a polling unit.
As election observer, you cannot vote where you are observing.
That's what I'm saying.
And 90% of the times, they don't post you
to your area.
Yes, and even if they post you to your area, you cannot vote.
That's what I'm saying.
Because you will compromise your integrity.
For early voting. Please, I want to advise. That's not. Now it's giving issue of ballot, but so it's not even expect transparency. Even as the chairman of INEC, he does not believe in it. But considering talking about issue of
he's saying ballot storage.
No. For instance, you give room. Those who are accredited should be given room to vote. What we need is honesty and transparency.
And the result of that early votes announced.
It's allowed now. Even in America, they do early voting.
They do early voting and they pause. You can see the polls in real time.
Yes,
that also prepares all the parties on where
we have what you call the battleground. So in Nigeria, that's why today everybody's trying to capture states before even the election. But can we do this thing? This is a good thing that we only imitate from. If there any car that will come out in America now, Nigeria will buy it. But when it comes to what has been existence in American election for over 20 years before I was born, we say, it will also lead to what we call it unnecessary expenses. We expect development that will also attract our elections. Like for instance, when you deploy over close to 100, maybe in a let's say election is done in 30 states.
Caused by voters apathy. One. Why is there voters apathy? Because it's not credible. And anything that is not credible, people tend to lose interest in it. But I tell you for free and categorically that if we have a credible and transparent electoral process that people believe in, you discover that this whole thing, people will even turn up early, vote, and go back to where they are supposed to do their who were part of 1993 election, June 12th election in 1993, that Abiola's election, you discover there was huge and massive voters turnout because a lot of people believed the system, and that was why it was very difficult for them because they didn't have any other option than to cancel that result. It was overwhelming, it was glaring, it was even visible to the blind,
that was literally
and
like
audible to the deaf that Abiola won that election. So if we have a system that people believe in, people will come out in the morning, vote and go for their monitoring. But first, let's have a credible electoral system.
Now,
once you have a credible electoral system, all these things will fall in place.
Well, when you say people can come out early in the morning and vote and go to their businesses, might not be exactly realistic for essential workers. I'll use myself as a journalist, for example. I mean, the recent elections, the elections that have been done so far, I have not been able to vote.
Now.
And this is because on election day, I resume earlier than expected, than normal. I'll have to resume no, there is no traffic on election day because the roads are free. I'm mobile.
I mean, if you are not mobile.
All right. So now I resume earlier. So ordinarily, maybe let's say my show starts by, let's say 9, but during elections, I have to come early to make sure cameramen have left, make sure that things are properly coordinated and that you start covering the election from when, before the material start moving, you start getting feeds from your reporters on the field on what is happening. So what time do I have to go and vote? Okay. What time do I have to go and what time will I be done and then go and vote? And this is the reality of a lot of journalists. They don't vote. And it's painful because you are being disenfranchised because of your job. Now, that is on one hand. If they are saying, if Joe Ashamu-Pitam, for example, is using budgets, finances as an excuse, that is not making sense to me. Because Nigeria has 4 years cycle to another election. So one would expect that, you know, the INEC will be making preparations. They present their budgets. And this budget that they present should capture every single thing, including early voting, if possible, logistics for early voting, and all of that. So when he brings this as an excuse, one will wonder. And when he also says, he talked about, he even mentioned trust in the whole thing, that Nigerians will not trust because of stuff. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
For a chairman of INEC to be saying this,
him saying this,
for me, he's saying
that statement, the statement he has made to a large extent makes me to even wonder whether the skill or let me not use the skill. It makes me wonder at the preparedness of INEC for this forthcoming elections.
Now let me answer you. This thing is very simple. Why I say it's as simple as ABC. The same technology that the banks are using, the same technology that the stock exchange. You can sit here now if you don't want to go to the bank to access, withdraw your money and transfer. You can stay within the confines of your house. Open your app. You already have it in your phone. So if they have an app-based electoral process where it's either you're going to your polling unit to vote, or you open your phone, enter your details of your voter's card, and your app opens to your own portal. You stay there. If you want to vote for Senate, vote reps, vote president on that. And
from the comfort of your home.
From the comfort of your home. So for that way, it will also capture the electoral monitors, the security people, because they cannot go to their polling unit. They use their BVN, open their portal and vote there, and it goes direct.
You know, what you said is quite interesting, because I mean, Nigeria has been trying to go digital on a lot of things, including telling us to go we can actually go to INMC portal and register for identification, national ID.
Now,
right? A whole lot of things are being done digitally. So why can't we vote that way?
Now let me shock you now.
Go ahead, please.
In INEC, they don't have good database, quote me anywhere. That is why we are trying for multiple registration. Because if you tell somebody that, because I do a lot of things to get permission, are you aware that go and do voter registration somewhere, get your vote, get your card. Then you can also go to another place, and the system will not identify, even you do thumb printing. I don't think by science, or the one is going forensic, whatever. If I have one thumb print, I don't think going to another state to do thumb print will now be different from the one I did in River State. This is showing us that we don't have a database. You know where we have the good database? If you go to this international passport, as you go in, put everything you have done anywhere in this country will show. So INEC today, as I'm talking this day, does not have what they call consistent database, and that is why is also afraid, because somebody can manipulate the system and it will go scot-free, and the garbage out will stand the result for the election.
All
so
right.
For me, I feel INEC needs to work harder and harder to give us reliable database, that if anybody anywhere wants to do something to cause problem to the transmission or whatever announcement of the election, it will be shown.
Now let me tell you, these things are very simple. In life, if you want to see very far, all you need to do is to lean or stand on the shoulders of those taller than you.
But you don't want to.
Very far.
We don't want to do that in Nigeria.
Why is it? Since the world has gone technological, the world also move towards that direction in terms of our election.
Our president is open to contest. Even here, a lot of us are running to APC. He has not made any statement. I have not heard from him. I have not heard from him.
This because the numerical advantage, they have little.
They are actually made was not rejecting electronic transmission.
Okay.
That it is electronic transfer.
Okay, now, based on this, I can deduce now that the law of quid pro quo is now about to take place. Maybe the likes of Abaribe and co-defending, maybe they're also looking for a soft landing for 2027.
The truth remains that every single one of the persons that we are saying that are making these laws, or passing these laws for elections, for transparent elections, are still intending. Most of them are intending to still run elections. Should trust this them back. Who are those?
For you, I will answer you. Whatever Mr. President brings,
Now their email box.
that is it. So what we are saying, do we have a national assembly that should stand up and call Mr. President to so does it mean Mr. President on this national disaster? Like what we heard just like the governor of Kwara State visited Mr. President. It is Mr. President that should visit Kwara State for the senseless killing going on there. But what to do? He has done to say yes, Mr. President is working. They want to come on, dirty, petty politics. With primordial sentiments.
He's talking about that incident of Kwara State. Sorry, I'm a bit trying to be digressive, but I think it's something that we need to really condemn in every strata of human life.
Yeah.
Killing over 170 persons.
Not the first time.
Not the second time. And they say if you go to the Kainji National Park, it's been taken over by these hoodlums.
But you heard how they said uncommon spaces in Nigeria.
And they said that the killing happened for 10 hours before military came.
Yes, before military came.
10
hours. That was
10 hours of horror.
Horror.
I can only imagine how helpless parents felt, how scared children were. Children that their parents left to run for safety, children that were alone. I can only imagine the helplessness.
And there was no one
the helplessness of the state government at that time, because the state government does not control the military.
Come on.
The state government does not control the police, because Zamfara state governor has come out to make a lot of expose. So the question is what is going on. But then
what is happening in Nigeria is not just a crisis situation. This is a full-blown war.
Before.
This is a full-blown
let me show you.
This is a full-blown war.
I am not even
10 hours of madness within one area.
Now the question will
10 hours of horror.
The question will now be to the National Assembly, because we are discussing more on the activities of the National Assembly.
They're not saying do anything.
What has the National Assembly said about this?
They have not said anything at the voice.
What has the National Assembly done about this? The only time I saw National Assembly speaking out was when few senators came out to speak. And I think one other time when the convoy of a member of the National Assembly was attacked.
Yeah.
And then I think once when the president, either when the president came to present budget or so, they now told the president that they can no longer go back home for Christmas. This was before December. They had to, so when they were telling the president, we can no longer go back home, it is we, the elites, the political bourgeois, we can no longer go back home. They are not talking about the people who are living in the horror, who are living in the horror. And for crying out loud, the National Assembly are seated on the mandate. I want to believe that they are sitting on the mandates of the people, which now brings me to another point, and a question I think Nigerians should be asking some of these senators. I am interested to see how elections will hold in Kwara State. I'm interested to see how National Assembly, I will be very specific with National Assembly in Kwara State and some of these states, particularly in these areas and local governments where these bandits, you know, have headquartered themselves, if I may use that language. Because to make it make sense to me how there will be crisis. Have people noticed? Despite the terror, despite the banditry, despite the killing, the assassinations that are happening in these areas, elections still hold.
Let me tell you something.
Elections still hold in these areas, and people emerge as representatives of these constituencies at the National Assembly. So what exactly what is going on? Yes.
Like I said before, election in anywhere in the world, anywhere in the world, let me not say everywhere, anywhere in the world is a big business. Close the day of the election, you hear ceasefire, not pronounce ceasefire. Election will be done in Zamfara, in Borno, in Kaduna, in even Kwara State. They will even give the highest votes to the party they love. Because one, before the election, there will be some contractors, some ministries, well funded, who will also go on peace building. And that of election will go without any violence, and the result will be announced. Like you said, also, the lawmakers that we have heard, some of them will come back. That's the reality on the ground, because they will manipulate the system. All these people that you are saying now, or whatever we are discussing this morning, today, it's about money, revenue. Even this bandit, this is about money, resource control. By the time somebody will carry huge amount of money, 10 billion, oh, please, we are here to see you. We know your problem. They'll be pacified. Mind you, like just what you said, we the people cannot go home. The irony is, what about those who are being kidnapped on a daily basis? Your wife is with you, they will come and take your wife if they don't want you to of it together. And before you and your wife, they're insulting your wife before you. How do you feel? Some things report we don't carry. All we are carrying is, please let us come back. We don't even go to the terror that kidnap victims pass through. Like look at what happened in just Kaduna State. They are sewing uniform. Maybe we aren't said to welcome those who came out from captivity in the same country. It is despicable.
All right.
It is very ridiculous in a nation that has leaders and armed forces that we are being told there are ungoverned spaces. We are not in the Atlantic Ocean, but on the landmark of Nigeria.
Talking about these ungoverned spaces, I've always spoken here at different forums that we do little. In fact, we don't do anything when it comes to intelligence gathering. And the only way to fight crime and criminality is through intelligence gathering. Once you gather enough intelligence, it becomes very easy for you to take it to them.
What makes you think Nigeria don't have intelligence?
They have. So what have they done about it?
You remember in the thick of kidnapping that one of the ministers in this country, her mother, was kidnapped. How many days did it take the police to find the mother?
They have.
and launch a rescue operation and rescued the mother.
They choose the one.
Why is it, have you ever asked yourself, why is it that when highly placed individuals run into this crisis, you now know that our police can work, you now know that police can gather information, the military can gather information?
They do.
Like I said earlier, because we are focusing on National Assembly, the question will be, what is the National Assembly doing to ensure that the people they are representing, their cries are being heard and something is being done about it? What exactly is the National Assembly doing? And finally, ahead of 2027 elections, I have said it here and I'm repeating myself again, I am interested to know how elections will be conducted in these states and how these persons from the National Assembly, or let me say this, I am interested to know how National Assembly elections will be conducted, because I mean, it will be constituency by constituency, is it not? Particularly these constituencies where banditry is rife, where Fulani headsmen have headquartered themselves. I want to know how elections will be conducted in these places, who and who will vote, how that voting will happen. You know, I am interested to know. And I think Nigerians should also touchlight this during the forthcoming elections. Let us begin to ask hard questions and intelligent questions as well. Probably from there we'll begin to find answers to the questions that we seek. Thank you so much, Edemko, for coming. It's a pleasure having you.
It's always a pleasure.
And thank you so much, Frank Enawaji. It's also a pleasure having you.
Pleasure, thank you. Election will hold in those places.
All right.
No, I don't need to go to Harvard.
All right. All right, very well. And thank you so much, our viewers, for always staying connected to us. And this is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Conversation. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. You can also watch us on Avo TV, Niger TV, and Infastech TV platform. You can connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. Do not forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you for watching. I am Laurentia Ogu. See you same time tomorrow. Bye for now.